welcome back to Universe X. And if you're watching this video the day it comes out, Merry Thanksgiving? I almost said Merry Christmas. Deal with it. But for real, Happy Thanksgiving. I didn't want to put out anything terribly hard-hitting today because never too sure what the viewership will be like on a holiday where most people are trying to spend time with their families. So I wanted to put out something that's still fun, but not something that I'm kind of banking on being like a smash, content hit. But then again, people do kind of like my speculation, so who knows? This may be a little bit of a Thanksgiving miracle. But anywho, I just want to start off by once again thanking everybody for their miraculous support. I really appreciate it, and it's just astounding to me how much people are digging the content lately. Past that, as per usual, if you guys could check out the official Facebook group, the community discussion group, my Universe X group, as well as the Discord, they're all in the description as links. And then also we've got TCGMetalZ, who makes the best metal leader cards, and they're always coming out with more. Chris is a passionate dude about his craft, and while you are over at his site, if you find things that you do like, which I'm sure you will, you can use the code UNIX to get 10% off your entire order. So, that being said, if you like the content, think about hitting that subscribe button, and let's jump into it. So at Nationals, one of the things that happened right before we started our rounds is that we got a spoiler for the next set. The next set is actually going to, indeed, be finally gifting us with Super Saiyan God Trunks. This is something that's been a long time coming. I've tried to guess it like for the past 4 sets because he's really the main character of Dragon Ball Heroes outside of the player themselves. So it was very odd to me that he was never represented in the game. And that's just crazy. But we're finally here, so I'll retire this meme that's on the screen right now that I put up in, I think, my last set prediction video. And we'll actually hop into it, because at Nationals, they spoiled not only him, but his Unison as well. And that's actually really, really cool. And there's a lot of implications. So one thing is, Trunks has always been a favorite, he's just been a fan favorite. Teen Trunks coming back in the past with the sword was just a moment in Dragon Ball Z history that can never be replicated. And him going to the, Time Patrol has been kind of like, okay, he's just doing the same stuff he was doing. But now we're able to kind of see him at his most powerful in this alternate continuity. And there's a couple things that come along with that. Now, we're gonna go directly into the leader. I'm gonna put the template up, and then we'll have him on the screen, his front side. So he's of course a Black Saiyan, and there's a couple cool things. He has an activate main ability to warp a black card and then draw 2. And then on top of that, he can awaken when he's at either 4 life, or you have 5 or more Saiyans in your warp. So this is actually really, really, really cool. That alternative win condition generally means that he should be able to awaken on turn 2. I don't know if there are any specific combos to go turn 1. I'm sure with a lucky, Hachiak, maybe. I don't know. The more I think about it, I don't think you can do it on turn 1 unless they introduce some new cards. I've been kind of going over some stuff, but who knows? You literally never know. Now, his awaken side though, he's an untap 1, draw 1 leader in black, and that's good. Untap 1 is always good. Untap 2 would have been better, but untap 1 is always good. And then he's actually able to, when he swings, you draw 2 and you warp a card from your hand. That's mechanically superior. Being able to see all your options and then choose which card to get rid of, but instead of the other way around, very, very good. Then he's got blocker. So he's going to be able to protect his Unison. And then the other thing is, when a Unison is attacked once per turn, he's able to untap himself. So that's actually going to be cool. And the way that's going to work is you declare the attack on Unison, autos are going to happen, he's going to untap himself, and then you'll be able to declare him as a blocker. So again, mechanically sound. Then he's got a Spirit Boost 1, and that's going to cost 1 energy, and that's colorless, not black, so splashing could be potential, but he's going to be able to warp a card from the field, warp a battle card from the field. Okay, so there's a lot to talk about here, alright? On his front side, the main thing you kind of want to take away from this is that on his front side, homie is going to be able to, let me just look this up just to make sure, because I want to be able to give you guys the complete go around. So on his front side, he has an activate main. Now, in the past, if you've played this game long enough, you know that activate main draws are always precarious. And why would you say this? Why would I say this? The reason why they're precarious is because activate mains allow you to circumvene giving your opponent extra cards in the beginning of the match. So most leaders have to swing at each other in order to do damage and get their draw effects. Well, no, Trunks is going to be able just to +1. Technically it is a +1 though. Trunks is going to be able to just remove a card and then draw 2. So if you don't want to give your opponent cards in hand, you don't have to. And that's a very huge part to the early game. You're just essentially not giving your opponent a free card every turn. Now, his ability to awaken with 5 or more Saiyans in the warp is pretty interesting, because on turn 1, you're going to put 1 in there, okay? Turn 2, you're going to have a second one in there, presumably. And turn 3, you're going to be able to look at the top 3 cards of the unison, or sorry, turn 2 still, look at the top 3 cards of the unison and put cards out. Now, this means that luck providing with your unison that we'll talk about soon, you're going to be able to awaken at turn 2. But awakening at turn 3 isn't bad either. The other thing about this leader is because of his awakening skill and his front and back being split between an activate main and a swing auto, you're going to be able to plus a lot of cards that turn. Like, think about it. Your awakening turn, you can activate main, just warp a black card in your hand, draw 2. Then you're going to be able to awaken, drawing 1 and untapping 1. Then you're going to be able to swing and drawing 2 and then warping a card. So if you look at it, let's say you have a 6 card hand. Remove, draw 2. Awaken, draw 2, remove 1. You just went +3, but you saw 5 additional cards. This is a huge swing in tempo. And it's a lot of cards to see. Shuffling, filtering through 5 cards, but +3 is a great awakening turn, TBH. And you're going to also untap an energy at the same time. So his awakening turn is very, very powerful. Now, the other thing is on his awaken side. Again, he's filter, and he's going to draw 2, discard 1. Like I said, mechanically superior. He's going to be able to block for his unison. And the thing about his awaken ability is that because it doesn't require you to take life down, he's going to be able to awaken potentially at 7 life and hold it for as long as he chooses. When they start swinging on the unison, you can block with them and combo. And that's going to allow you to just not be able to, this is a huge thing. Blue has had some leaders that you can awaken early, Zamasu, Soul Striker, that aren't contingent upon life. Yellow has things like Monkey Gohan. Black now has another leader that you can do this with, and that's very, very, very strong. Hatch could do it, but now you have a leader that can be more aggressive and also awaken with a lot of life involved. It's just a very, very nice and change of theme, but it's a powerful effect that lots of people don't think of. Being 15k with 7 life is kind of a lot. You don't get those early cheap shots in to bring your opponent to 4. Then, his Spirit Boost is hard removal. Now, it doesn't get past barrier because that'd be nasty, but hard removal for 1 is great. Those times where you're staring down now a Kefla on the other side of the field, and you can just Spirit Boost 1 and remove it with your leader. Those times where you are staring down like a Demigra on the other side of the field and you just remove it. This guy has a lot going for him for just a leader card, and that's insane. So next we're going to move over to the Unison. And after moving over to the Unison, we're going to be able to talk a little bit more about the card in general. So, talking about the Unison, this picture is going to look really bad. And so basically, we're going to have to kind of just run through the effects. Supreme Kai of Time is a Unison. It's got a specified cost of 2. It's a 15k. And it has an auto once per turn. If it's your turn and your leader card is a Black Trunks Xeno, if you play a battle card from your warp, add 1 marker to this card and draw a card. Then it's +1, place up to the top 3 cards of your deck into the warp. Because of the way it's worded, it's very much like Dark Broly. You're going to be able to look at the top card and remove it look at the next top card and remove it. If you want to stop there, you stop there. The important parts that to take away from this is it's a 2-drop unison, so it's going to compete potentially with SS4 Bardock. But the reason why this card's probably going to get a leg over Bardock in this deck, as far as I know, is because this deck, this unison, is going to immediately help you awaken. On top of that, its auto is very revealing about Trunks' future archetype. It's saying that, you know, playing a card from the warp is going to be able to have you draw a card and pseudo +2 it, because you're going to +1 on your turn and probably +1 again on your turn. Because of this, we pretty much know that now Trunks is going to have cards that come out from the warp, and that's a huge deal in conjunction with a couple things. So one, this screams free play. It really does. There are probably going to be some that are free play, and there are probably going to be some that are not free play. And that's going to be a balance that hopefully Bandai gets right. If we have too many things that just go to the warp and get played, that's going to be really toxic. But if we have too many things that cost things, the deck will not be fast enough to compete with the meta, because yellow is in a place right now where it is very hard to get in with in terms of value. Now, the next part that I wanted to kind of get to about this Trunks, right, is that looking at these two cards, we already know that cards are going to come from the warp. But the other question is, will they be autos or will they be activate mains? I'm sorry, my cat's doing things one side. Interruption aside, like I was saying, we gotta sit down and wonder if these are going to be autos or activate mains. The reason why this is important is because autos have a much higher chance of being free, I believe. Like, oh, when this card is removed from the top of your deck or your hand, it's going to be able to be played from your warp. That would be cool. But the reason why I'm leaning towards them being activate mains is because activate mains will restrict these free plays for the most part to being on your turn. And seeing that your leader is going to warp on your turn, as well as your unison, I'm assuming these are going to be activate mains. The other thing about activate mains is they allow you to sequence better. If it was an auto, for instance, let's say you remove one from Trunks, okay? And then you can play it. That's cool, but you just took your first turn. Let's say you remove something you play. You just took your sand count potentially from 1 to 0. Let's say you have 2 in a grave or 2 in a warp. Like, you activate main on your turn 1, you activate main on your turn 2, and you play your unison. And then you remove 3 and they're all sands. If any of these are autos, you have to play them when they're warped, making it less likely that you awaken. Whereas if they were activate mains, like this card is in your warp and your leader is Trunks, or you have a black unison spirit boost, play this, you're going to be able to awaken and then start playing your cards. The other thing about this is it works really well with the spirit boost. A lot of the spirit boost things, they kind of for some reason, they kind of do what you were going to do with that marker anyway. Like, you still lose the marker, you just get a benefit out of it. If you notice, most spirit boosts don't necessarily plus you unless you're looking at cards like Tapion or kind of Dragon's Fist. Like, for instance, somebody swings at your unison and starter Vegeta. You take a marker off of it, which you were going to lose anyway, to negate the attack. Somebody swings at your unison and Gohan. You take a marker off of it when you defend with the +0 Frieza, but you don't take the attack. Preventing certain things like double strike sometimes, but that's just kind of how it is. So it wouldn't surprise me if you spirit boost on this Supreme Kai to play a card from your warp, but then you draw a card and you +1 to go back to what markers you were at currently. And then, like I said, activate main would allow you to sequence so much better than a auto. Now, the thing about this that kind of gets dangerous is with this activate main on his front side, if they release any cards that come from the warp using this effect that have crit, we are going to potentially have some very annoying early game plays, because I don't need to swing with my leader to draw, but I can potentially play crit battle cards, which means the first turn, 2 turns, maybe 3 turns, I can provide crit damage while you are not being given cards from my leader swing. Not to mention, worst of all, if the deck has the space, there are chances that you can be getting double strike crits while I'm not giving you leader cards, and that could potentially halt a lot of your early game advantage. So this is going to be something that's going to be very, very interesting. Now, if they're autos, I think the deck is going to be a lot worse because your awakening will be a lot more turbulent, or you'll have to choose to not let cards go out. Now, when it comes to this leader, black is in a very precarious space in the meta right now. Yellow is clearly top dog, but black in a lot of its cases is going to peter off in its mid game, which unfortunately is where the meta right now is doing its best to stay. Yellow and blue are massive mid-game decks. So the only way a black deck is able to overcome that is to either A, be faster in cases of Gogeta Zeno, but also less consistent. I mean, the deck is consistent, but you can still roll low on your top fives. Or you can try to cheese it with like things like Hatch, which try to circumvene the time rules and stall your opponent out, play very defensively. So the issue I'm having is for this deck to be good, it's gonna have to be fast. Or it's gonna have to have some mid-game bombs that black hasn't seen. Unless we're getting an entire set of mid-game bombs and mid-game like value, I'm assuming that the deck will have to be fast. But with a deck that's doing what this deck is doing and a leader that's generically good, if they break the archetype, black will be a problem next set. So I'm kind of watching this one with an eye out, but I'm probably gonna try to at least test this deck because I love Super Saiyan God Trunks. Been advocating it for a while. So black has a lot of untapped power. Demigra is still a powerhouse of a card, monstrous in fact. You've got the True Fighting Spirit cards that'll punish your opponent for trying to play certain ways of the game. You have got the Thwarting package, which is insane itself. You've got things like 8-drop or 10-drop Gogeta, I think it's 8-drop Gogeta, which is also very, very strong. Black has a lot of power cards and not necessarily all the places to play them. So you never know what's going to be going down, but it's a powder keg. It just needs the fuse in the match. We just got a couple cards last set, like the Fu. Hey, editing Chris here. I'm going to say Fu a couple times when I really meant Fen. Fu's just been such a monstrous bomb is on my mind. And to be honest, the names are pretty close and they're both in black and they're both Dragon Ball heroes, so bear with me. You'll see the card on the screen soon enough. Just wanted to let you all know that y'all can't catch me lacking because I caught myself lacking. You know, the funny thing is, if your opponent doesn't have any barrier cards and you play that 2-drop Fu that I'm putting on screen right now that's going to absorb your cards, or it's going to board wipe, except for things they choose, on 3 energy, as long as you have a unison, you can potentially wipe an entire board if they don't have barrier. You play Fen and they have to choose the one card they want to keep. Doesn't matter because they see you have 1 energy open and your Trunks is awakened. Remove it. So 3 energy board wipe in like black is really, really strong. And especially access to the entire thwarting package. There's so much that you can do with this deck. So really sky's the limit. I am very excited to see what they print for this one, but I'm also a little cautious because there's a lot of room for this to get out of hand. Either way, this is already an anticipated leader for me. I cannot wait to see what they do, and you will probably see me diving a little bit further in. So if you guys like the content, let me know, like the video, comment in the description. We still got a lot of content coming up, a lot of post-nets, kind of just evaluations. We've got Amani's top 32 boo list. We might just put that on Friday. We'll see about it. People have been saying they wanted to see my Gohan list for Nats. I'm at 41 likes. I said get it to 50 and I'll drop it. And on the last video, and I can leave a link to that in the description as well. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys had a wonderful day, and I will see you the next time inside a drop in Universe X.